Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Joe and Joe Weather Show. A late start here at 9:30 Eastern Time. The Joe and Joe Weather Show brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York, on Long Island. 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com. Could have used the generator here today. And also brought to you by Wholesale Holiday Lighting by Giannini, your complete holiday lighting specialist, meeting all your decorating needs at 162 Ocean Avenue in Lindenhurst, 631-957-5106. And the website is liholidaylighting.com. So I had an eventful evening. I lost power for about 2 hours. Was wondering whether I'd get it back in time, but I got it back in plenty of time. In the meantime, I'm about halfway through the book Under the Weather, which is a mystery novel written by my friend John Avanzato, and I'm a primary character in the book. So that was still trying to figure out where the plot twists are going to take me. But in the meantime, my wife is dead in the book.
I'm not going to say anything about this.
We'll just leave it. We'll just leave that as is. How was your day, Mr. Rayo?
Well, we had a couple of I guess 2 to 5 second power hits of our own. One while my wife was shopping, and then she couldn't get out of the Acme to come home after she did her shopping, so she just had to tear across the parking lot and get thoroughly soaked, and then she arrived home. And then right after she arrived home, we had another power hit. So we had our fair share of some very heavy-duty thunderstorms that rumbled on through here, just like you had. But at least we held on to our power during the course of the afternoon. So for both you and I, it was a fairly rock'em sock'em afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, the thunders. All I got was heavy rain out of it. I didn't see here in North Georgia. I didn't see any lightning or hear any thunder, but it must have hit some power station somewhere. And anyway, got it back, all happy, and just looking at the radar right now. I was telling you, I'll bring the radar up, but I was telling you before the show started how I always have this tendency to put out something, and then the minute I put it out, SPC will change something. But today I beat them to the punch, and they suddenly threw up this area of marginal risk of severe weather that covered northern Pennsylvania, the northern half of New Jersey, western Long Island, and then on up into the Hudson Valley, into central New England and southern New York. So they didn't have it in their forecast there this morning. They just had the general thunderstorms. But I was looking at the obs, Joe, at 1:00 in this afternoon, looking at temperatures in New Jersey that were above 90, but the dew points were impressive. I mean, they got up into the low 70s, just about everywhere. The atmosphere was juiced.
Yeah, you had to step outside, and from this morning, in fact, and I knew it was going to be one of those kind of days because the windows were totally and completely fogged over, and that only happens when we have those 70 plus degree dew point days, and we certainly had that this afternoon. Now, the question I have here is, all right, so they put marginal risk up, and that's okay for this afternoon. Certainly, you lacked the thunder and the lightning. We had our fair share of that this afternoon. But now, I'm trying to put two and two together here. Why didn't they add marginal at least to some part of the forecast for tomorrow, for day 2? They didn't do that. They just left it with general thunderstorm cover. I wish I could read the minds of some of these folks over at Norman, Oklahoma. But then, as I said a couple of days ago, I'm not really a storm or severe weather expert per se, and here I am, not an expert, questioning what the experts are doing. But it seems logical that if we had severe weather, marginal risk today, it seems logical to add that to the mix for tomorrow. Right from the get-go.
They might do it. They might do it in the morning. But like I said today, they didn't do it till about 1:45. Meanwhile, there's still some ongoing thunderstorms. There's nothing severe around that I can see, but there's an ongoing thunderstorm just to the east of Scranton and northeast from there. Still some leftover showers up the middle and upper Hudson Valley, and also extending into parts of New Hampshire and into southwestern Maine. Meanwhile, the storms did what they usually do when they move into Long Island, and the wind is even partially off the ocean like it was today. It wasn't a south wind, it was a southwest wind, but it didn't matter. And the storms, which looked really impressive as they were moving across New York City, they just kind of fell apart. Further south, near Harrisonburg, we have a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing right now at 9:30 this evening. And further south, they'll head down into Georgia. I'm just trying to see if there's anything close to me. Actually, there are some thunderstorms. Where's Atlanta? I can't find Atlanta on the map. I can't see it.
There's Georgia.
I know where it is. There's some big cells. There's this bad. I'm northeast of Atlanta, and there's some big cells all around me, but I'm not hearing anything, so I don't know. David Schwartz says at 7:21 there was a confirmed tornado over Spring Lake, so I'm in South Dakota. So let's take a look at what's going on severe wise elsewhere. Just widen it out just a little bit. Little action there in northern Mississippi and northern Alabama. Also back into Ohio and southern Indiana, mostly showers now. Some big storms up in northern Wisconsin, seeing a few powerful cells there. And yeah, it's pretty busy. This was the big area of risk today, and it's still fairly busy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And maybe there's a little tornado warning inside one of these severe thunderstorm warnings that you see in South Dakota this evening. Yeah, Spring Lake reporting severe thunderstorm located near Spring Lake, and there's a tornado warning in there. There you go, tornado warning confirmed. A tornado was over Spring Lake, or 19 miles south of McLaughlin, moving northeast at 20. So a busy night up in the northern plains. There's 17 working severe weather warnings right now. Let's just see. Oh, look at this. Glory, hallelujah. Other than a couple of scattered showers west of Houston, the entire state of Texas and Louisiana, they're both dry. A couple little cells there in northeast Louisiana, and that's it. So after days and days of dealing with showers and thunderstorms in much of both those states and heavy rains, it has finally relaxed. And meanwhile, here in the Northeast, as I'll pull up the satellite loop, of course, everything peaked out around 5, 6 o'clock this evening. You can see the bright white cloud tops on the enhanced. Still a few blow-ups here that we showed you on the radar. Still a moisture back in the Ohio Valley, down in the Gulf states, and now we've got this cold front, Joe, that's starting to drop down from the north. And yeah, I'm thinking, I've got the chance for scattered storms tomorrow. I suppose one or two of them could blow up, so I'm still going to stick with my idea that there might be a sliver of marginal risk. Although I should have said it for today, as well as tomorrow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if we had it today, I can't possibly say. And tomorrow we're going to actually have that front, that cold front, working its way down, serving as kind of a catalyst or triggering mechanism for possible severe weather. So, is it going to kill anybody to just, outline a portion of the Northeast in marginal risk? I mean, we saw it happen today. They had to actually put it up, or they were trying to catch up with the storms that were developing today. Why not put it up tomorrow? Tomorrow morning it may be a different story. Tomorrow morning, somebody, the forecaster, whoever on duty, might say, "All right, we'll put it up."
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, one reassuring thing is the fact that looking at the satellite tonight, unlike last night, we don't have that donut feature of clouds in the southwest.
Yeah.
That still was probably one of the oddest formations that I've ever seen.
A real hole in the clouds out there. It almost looked like one of the. if Fisher Price, you remember as a young, very well, I don't remember playing with this, but I certainly remember getting it for my kids. The Fisher Price donuts, the colored donuts that you put on a dowel or something like that. That the only color they did not have was a white donut, and that could have been the white donut right there out west last night over the desert Southwest.
Yeah,
that was really a weird situation.
It certainly was. So here's tonight's severe weather risk from SPC, and it's refreshing even as I speak. They have enhanced risk there in northeastern Montana, a big area of slight risk. So this is all playing according to plan. And then, of course, you see the general thunderstorms in the eastern part of the U.S. Going back to just west of the Mississippi River. Obviously, that played out today. Now, for tomorrow, let's go to day 2 and see if they've updated this. And nope, they still have pretty much everybody east of the Rockies, Joe. They added a sliver of marginal risk in West Texas, and they've got marginal to slight risk in northwestern Montana. But otherwise, it's just general thunderstorms, at least for now.
And notice, if you will, Joe, from northernmost New York State, cutting across northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and into southern Maine, the boundary zone between general thunderstorm coverage and no thunderstorm coverage, I suspect that's the front that we're watching for later tomorrow and on into tomorrow night. In fact, when you move to day 3, you probably will find that much of the Northeast is out of thunderstorm risk.
And let's look at the
aftermath of that moving on by.
Look at this. They got they have the general thunderstorm border now at New York City, going northwest up to about Syracuse.
Well, now, but that covers what now? That
goes into Friday morning. Thursday, yeah, that goes into Thursday
to Friday morning. So, right. So that's what that has to account for. But you could see that much of the Northeast and much of eastern New York State is out of the thunderstorm threat, because the atmosphere, as it would appear right now, the atmosphere is going to turn rather dry during Thursday and on into Friday, at least in this sector of the United States.
Yeah, a bit of a shift in the GFS. I didn't get a chance to look at the European, but in the GFS on the last run, all of a sudden now it pushes everything way to the south, and we don't get any rain out of the system for Thursday night into Friday. So go figure that. In the meantime, enhanced risk on day 3 in North and South Dakota, big area of slight risk there. Maybe it turns out that there might even be a small area of moderate risk when we get there. To see enhanced risk on day 3, the confidence is pretty high that they're going to see some severe weather up in the northern and parts of the Central Plains. And on the day 4 to 8 outlook, they are just predictability too low on day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, and day 8. So everything's working the same there. And on WPC's rainfall forecast for the next 7 days, and they're still going for about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of liquid. This started at 8 o'clock this evening, so nothing that fell today is in this forecast. So whatever we get tomorrow with whatever scattered storms go by, they're still at least holding on to the probability that there will be a solid area of rain here Thursday night into Friday morning. But you can see bigger rains to the south in southern Pennsylvania, down into Delaware, Virginia, North Carolina, some places getting 3 inches plus. And again, most of this is going to be for later Thursday and on Friday. And also back into southern Ohio. And then you got these patches of 3 inches plus down through the Tennessee Valley and into the deep south. So some wet weather here. Again, we'll show you on the GFS on this run that it kind of suppresses everything, which will probably mean that the areas of the south are going to wind up getting at least what's being forecast. Northernmost northern plains and into south central Canada getting some heavy rains too. There 3 to 5 inch patches there up in the provinces in south central Canada, and rain coming into the Pacific Northwest down into northern California and also into parts of Idaho. But the Southwest is dry and most of Texas is dry. So front and center, before we even talk about tomorrow, let's just jump over to Thursday morning, because you have your idea of how it's going to be Thursday morning when the eclipse gets underway.
Right. In fact, I'll hit the share screen here and bring up the graphic, which I posted on both of my Facebook pages and also on Twitter for all of you to see here. And what would happen if I just did this? Does that make it look bigger
Yeah, it's
or
fine.
larger to you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So here's what I came up with, and I looked at all the models, and they all are trying to promote in their own way some sort of improvement. I decided that with the front looks like, Joe, it's going to stall or subside somewhere south of New York, maybe somewhere across central New Jersey.
195.
And it was my thought, the 195 front, just like Texas A&M used to have the 125th Street cold front.
Right.
But it was my thought that any place along and south of that front would probably have a poor shot or a poor chance of seeing the eclipse on Thursday morning, because the atmosphere will still just be chock loaded with moisture. There will probably be a fair amount of not only cloud cover, but maybe some patchy fog, scattered showers, maybe even a rumble or two of thunder, all in this entire region that you see where I have in rather large letters, poor. Now, what about the immediate New York City area and Long Island, northern New Jersey? I said fair, or a fair chance or fair probability of getting some views. That is based upon the front passing on by and enough dry air filtering or sifting in to produce some clearing, maybe some holes in the cloudiness. But what is confusing to me, is that when you look at the GFS and you go on the map that shows you, the three levels of cloud cover,
Right, which
basically is putting the emphasis on high clouds and not much on mid and low level clouds. And I'm scratching my head, because usually right after a front, and especially a front that has produced a lot of moisture and a lot of showers and storms, and especially in the nocturnal or overnight hours, you tend to see low clouds and fog. But no, the models are all pretty much promoting some significant drying behind this front for those places that are behind the front. So playing it down the middle, and thinking about what I'm thinking in terms of maybe there will be leftover low clouds out there, and versus what the models are saying that the low clouds aren't going to be a big problem. I said a fair probability that there will be enough breaks in the clouds for you to see some of that solar eclipse on Thursday. And then if you travel not too far, just north of New York City, it looks like there's going to be some good drying taking place. In fact, if you draw a line from, I think, Ann Arbor in upper Michigan, actually the lower peninsula of Michigan, but in the northern part of the lower peninsula, and you draw a line from Ann Arbor through Toronto and on to Albany and to Boston, right in this sector right here, I think there's a pretty darn good chance, maybe even a good to excellent chance, that you'll get not only views of the eclipse, but maybe even get what everybody is hoping to see, the sun actually rising from below the horizon, the sun actually rising in that crescent shape that everybody is hoping to see. So if you want to see this eclipse, you go to this zone right over here. And that good zone, as I said, has, subjectively, I extend that all the way down to the Connecticut coast, where it just so happens that I'll be in the vicinity of Westport, Connecticut, with Monsieur Quinn from CBS early on Thursday morning. So we'll see what we can see. But that's the thing. And for whatever reason, there's a swath of mid and high level cloudiness that covers upstate New York, northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, western Maine. And if you go further north up toward, let's say, Montreal, you may not see much of anything, because clouds are expected to be quite prevalent in this region. So again, if you want to see this skinny area, which I suppose is about 200 miles in width, that's your zone, I think, of good to high probability of at least fair skies on Thursday morning.
I'm trying to find that low cloud map. I can't seem to find it. The low cloud simulated satellite.
That would be low under. What would that be under?
It was a GFS product, correct?
Yes, it's a GFS product. Wait a minute.
All right.
Screen sharing has stopped. Yeah, we stopped the screen sharing. All right, that's good.
Right.
I want to do one other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to do one other thing.
You still have it.
This was pointed out by my wife, and remember I mentioned a couple of days ago that Renata is indeed a degreed meteorologist, and she went to school at Oneonta, and she was a forecaster along with me at that weather company that I refuse to name back in the day. Now, this is the Foos. Maybe I should have kept it small. All right, I think I'm going to keep it small right there. This is the Foos for LaGuardia Airport, and the thing that she pointed out to me, the afternoon run of the Foos, the 18Z run, only goes out 48 hours. Normally on 0 and 12Z it goes out 60 hours, but the time to look at would be 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, and this would be, I believe, 42 hours is 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. This is LaGuardia, Joe. The R1 level, the low level of the atmosphere, according to this Foos run, 56%. And in fact, it even goes down by afternoon on Thursday to 40%. You talk about drying. And no wonder that the maps are devoid of any low clouds, because the atmosphere is really dry, and it really dries out because at 2 o'clock in the morning, if you take this at face value, 2 a.m. on Thursday morning, we would have the R1 level at LaGuardia at 80%. That's fairly well saturated. But from 80% at 2 a.m., you go to 56% at 8 a.m. in 6 hours. So the low levels of the atmosphere are gradually, rapidly, in fact, losing moisture. And again, if there's any kind of low cloud cover or fog or whatever, supposedly, if you want to believe this, it will gradually dissipate and disappear. And the rest of the atmosphere is also fairly dry. And here's the other thing, subsidence. Look at this, at 2 a.m. with 80% relative humidity at the low level, minus 1.0 subsidence. It decreases to just 0.1 by 8 a.m. But all of this, the 36 and the 48-hour part of the Foos is saying, at LaGuardia of all places, that the atmosphere is going to dry out very nicely, and that by the time we get to sunrise, we should have actually a view of the sun coming up. Whether I want to believe that, because it is, after all, an intermediate or 18Z run, and I don't really like to think that those runs are as accurate as the primary 0 and 12Z runs, but it does give hope for us to, for clear weather.
Well, guess what? If we stay on long enough tonight, we'll have the new NAM is coming out right now. So we only have to
35 minutes, Joe. I don't think you or I will last another 35 minutes.
No, it's already out, like the first 12 or 15 hours of it. But yeah. I found that the satellite, and I also have the forecast sky cover. You're gonna love this forecast. It was done intentionally to torture you. But
okay.
All right, so take a look. First off, let's look at what you pointed out with respect to the GFS, and this is at 2 a.m. and this is supposed to show low clouds, and you're seeing almost nothing. But there's a little patch in western Connecticut of brighter white clouds. I don't know if that's a leftover thunderstorm or something, but that can't be. I don't think that it would.
And Lonnie and I are going to be right down at the bottom edge of that blotch of white.
Right. Now, by 12Z, of course, it's still there and covers almost all of the state of Connecticut, but Long Island is in the clear, and even all of New Jersey is in the clear from low clouds. But this is what, on the digital forecast, which is the Weather Service forecasters' human input here, they have cloud cover percentage at Toms River at 37%, at Trenton, 38%. Low 30s percentage in Northeast PA, Northwest New Jersey, but LaGuardia a 66, I don't know what that dot is. That's south of Staten Island there in north of Sandy Hook, but there's a 72 there. There's a 61% at Bridgeport, 66%, I'll just say that's Stamford, 68 at White Plains. And then you go north of those points, and you're looking at numbers that drop off into the 50s and 40s, and 30s, and even the 20s. You were saying how you head up north in the Hudson Valley, 20%, 30% or less in terms of sky cover is being forecast. So yeah, if you're up in upstate New York, if you're up in central and northern New England, you're in a good spot here. I just find it funny that they just kind of covered the area that is most important for you.
Now wait a minute. Now this forecast is a subjective. It's not a machine forecast.
Right. It's subjective.
Okay, and so what I'm thinking of is that the people of Long Island and the immediate New York area was done by the folks at Upton, and I don't understand why Tom's River in South Jersey is so much clearer than places that are further to the north. You're right. This would drive me crazy if, and I'm going to make the assumption that this is going to change, hopefully for the better.
Yeah.
Between
Well, I just rolled it out to 11 a.m. and it's still in the 60s over Long Island back to about New York City. It does get drier as you go a little bit further to the north. I'm not quite sure why they have specifically targeted this point in their forecast to forecast sort of a little bank of clouds that just sits overhead. But I'm not in the mind of the forecaster, so I don't know what the logic is.
I love what Christianopedia says. The curse of Long Island. Storms die. Eclipses die.
Yes. Exactly. So the new NAM is out to 19 hours. So this takes us to 2:00 Wednesday afternoon. Doesn't look like they have much in the way of thunderstorms. The NAM has been insisting that this front gets a little bit further south than what the GFS has been showing. I'll just go to. I just went to the run before.
If the NAM could talk, you know what it would say, Joe? That's what the NAM said. That's it. I said that's going to be.
That's right. A lot of showers and storms tomorrow afternoon across the Ohio Valley, down in the Tennessee Valley, and into the Carolinas. That's expected. You see there's this little east-west arm that tomorrow afternoon across northern Pennsylvania back to about New York City, but there's nothing much to the east of there. And then it's all gone. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9Z is 5 a.m. Oh, you got to look at this. Joe, look at this. At 6Z, okay, there's nothing.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. Then look at 5 a.m. All of a sudden, there's a stripe of precip on the NAM in southern New Jersey and southern Pennsylvania.
It can't be. You just saw 34%, 34% cloud cover.
And then 3 hours later, it's gone. What is that? What is this? But yeah, the front it looks like the front gets hung up probably around 195. And then the precip with the next wave, most of that moisture winds up going to more to the south. It goes into Virginia and West Virginia. But look at this. You got a wave that develops here. And this is, of course, with respect to Thursday and Friday, a low develops east of Virginia. And it just basically pulls all the rain southeastward. And we don't see a drop of this. This wave takes everything out. I mean, this would imply certainly that Friday will be a dry day. In fact, much of Thursday will be a dry day too, except for maybe a little bit of rain there in South Jersey, down into Maryland on the northern fringe. But then the low pulls away, and it should. I mean, I would think it's hard to say though. We got an east-northeast wind here on Friday for a little while. But I would say in general, weather conditions improve going into the weekend. And picking up on the GFS after this, let's take a look. I hate the spring. Have I ever said that? Have I ever mentioned the fact of how much I hate forecasting in the spring? Yeah.
Yes.
Now Sunday, we're back to the GFS showing a cold front with a line of showers and storms. late Sunday afternoon. Let me take a look at what the upper air looks like here, because we went from showing a really nice looking trough to yesterday, when suddenly the trough was just, the bottom part of the trough just separated. And now it's just kind of got this broad, well, it's not too bad. I mean, there's a decent short wave that comes down, but it comes down more for Monday that sweeps on through. And then an upper low over Labrador just kind of overwhelms here for much of next week. I mean, if this is right, this is going to be on the cool side next week. With strong northwest winds in the upper atmosphere. Cool, chilly, but, well, for this time of year, I don't know if you use the word chilly, but let's call it, delightful and dry.
Yeah, the CPC, the Climate Prediction Center, is saying actually for 6 to 10 and 8 to 14 days out, below normal temperatures throughout much of the eastern part of the country. So
well, maybe that would kind of make sense.
Yeah, maybe this siege of 90-degree weather, which I assume is going to be the last day tomorrow, that might be the last time we'll see 90 for a while, if all of the signals are all set up. By the way, I have already, if we go back to me, you'll see on the screen here a map which I have never, ever looked at.
All right,
in all the time that we have been using tropical tidbits, and let's give a round of applause again to the man who put tropical tidbits on the map, which is
Levi Cowan, the great Levi Cowan.
Mr. Cowan. And all the time we've been using this, I have never, ever taken a look at this particular map. The map on the screen is the HRRR simulated IR brightness. In other words, a simulated cloud condition for, this is for the Northeast. And I looked at the 0Z run, the 0Z HRRR, unlike the other time frames. This will go all the way out to 48 hours. And we're only interested now in 36 hours to the time frame that takes us to Thursday morning. But what you're seeing on the screen now kicks off tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning. And you can see there's a fair amount of blue there, indicating, I guess, cloud cover and possible precipitation. Then as we move along, now by the time we get to 11 a.m., some stuff starts popping up over the Catskills and starts moving over parts of the Ohio Valley. But look at this, Joe. I mean, by the time we get, it comes back now. It doesn't seem like we're going to see as much in terms of heavy-duty precipitation, at least in our neck of the woods tomorrow, as what we saw today. The map now is for 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Here's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I would presume those blobs of oranges kind of suggest possible cold cloud tops and maybe some significant thunderstorm activity. But now let's watch now. We move into, this is 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Still a lot of schmutz all over. I mean, up to almost to New York and also across the Ohio, across the Hudson Valley as well into Connecticut. And now as we continue to keep on moving and keep on trucking, now we're up to midnight tomorrow night. Here's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 o'clock. Now, we're all excited now. All of you Eclipse watchers, you're out there and you're got your little Eclipse goggles ready and your telescopes and whatever. This is 5 a.m. Now, what is that? You look at that map, Joe. What does that tell you? What would you say if you were forecasting sky conditions with this type of
assuming that
setup?
That the low cloud forecast is correct on the other models, I mean, that almost looks like it would be, clear, or at least partially clear.
You would expect that, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, I would think. You would think.
I smell ice, to quote Bennett Cerf on What's My Line when he was trying to figure out who was the mystery guest. I smell 6 rats. I cannot be optimistic. You're always thinking that something is going to screw up, that we're going to come back here on Thursday evening and say, why didn't we see that back on Tuesday night? Why did we know that? I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you. I mean, the maps, the models are trying to, suggest that there is reason to hope and reason for some clearing. I mean, my goodness, you would expect clearing with this all the way down to central Jersey, and even South Jersey doesn't look all that bad. But I don't know what else to say about this. So
Yeah, I hear you. There isn't much else we can say. I'm just gonna just really quick. As far as the tropics are concerned, we still have that area down in the Southwest Caribbean, and the Hurricane Center's got a 20% chance in the next 5 days. They took it down from 30, so it looks like if there's going to be any development, it's going to be after the 5 day period, which we kind of expected anyway. And I'm just running through really quick on the GFS. Let me just really quick show the upper air pattern going forward. And boy, doing the show at 10:06 at night, my 62-year-old body is screaming for bed. Just watching this trough, the strengthening of the trough to our east, going through the weekend. You see the short wave that comes down from Lake Winnipeg. Part of it moves east on Sunday. Then another arm comes through on Monday. So that probably means may see some showers on Monday and then the upper low in eastern Canada there just strengthens, and the westerlies drop all the way down into North Georgia and South Carolina. I mean, that's persistent there. It's going to stay the whole week before part of it pulls out. Then there's a new upper low that comes from Lake Winnipeg and starts to move eastward going into Father's Day weekend. There's a short wave that approaches on Saturday, and then another one on Sunday that swings out. And in the meantime, there's some kind of system in the Southwest Gulf, because you can see it here, this little upper low that forms east of Brownsville. I don't know if that could be a tropical system. It might not be. We'll see. But the bottom line is that next week is going to be cooler than normal. No question about that.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree. It looks like, as I said, tomorrow may be the last day for a while that we will be basking in temperatures that will be at or above 90. And quite frankly, again, as they always say, it's not so much the heat, it's the humidity. I mean, 70-plus dew points, that don't make it for me, and I'm sure it doesn't make it.
No.
Yeah, Joe, it's ironic. You're down in Georgia, and I would suspect that we have had up here more of a siege of heat and oppressive humidity than you in the place that you would expect to be experience that. And maybe that's also partially due to the fact that you're 2,300 feet above sea level.
Yeah, I haven't had a day much above 80, and certainly today it only got to about 75.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
that's amazing. Well,
no, we'll see. All right, let's run through Briller Jeopardy, and then let's go to bed, because I'm beat.
Yeah. Yes. All right.
You all set to go? I think you have it.
Do I? Oh, I have it?
You have it.
Do I have it? Well, all right. I didn't. I'm terribly sorry.
That's all right.
Ladies and gentlemen.
No need to apologize.
The Briller Jeopardy up there. And Scott Briller, I haven't been ignoring you. I've just been so with this eclipse. I've been just going crazy here the last few times. Oh, okay. For Joe, another top 10 movie debut for Mr. Chaffee. Can Joe go for a third straight gift certificate to you know where?
Yes.
Guess the year that the movie debuted within 3 years.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Number 1, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
No, God. I'll say 1947.
By one, you are off. 1948. Number 2 is It Happened One Night. It did happen? Oh, okay, it did.
It happened one night. It happened one night. If that's with Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable, I'm going to say 1934.
Right on the nose. You know, it's too bad we're not playing like Price is Right, Joe, because I would tell you to reach into my pocket and you could pull out the $500.
$500, yes.
Number three. State. By the way, do you realize when Bob Barker used to do that, it was first like $100, and he used to have the contestant come and take the money out of the pocket, and he started getting people were complaining that he shouldn't do that, that he shouldn't allow it, that he should take the money out and give it physically to the person, especially if it was a woman.
People have too
Never could
much
understand.
times on it. People have too much time on
I-
their hands. It's
All
amazing
right.
what people complain about.
I will give you permission, Joe. You could have picked my pocket. Anyway, number 3, Stagecoach.
Stagecoach. I actually saw Stagecoach the other day. 1939.
On the nose again. Joe, reach into that pocket and get another $500. Number 4.
I could use it. I got to buy a generator.
Yeah, I thought you had a generator.
No, I don't have a generator here yet. I haven't had a chance to get one.
Oh, okay. So number 4, if this were the Flintstones, they would ask you, do you remember the movie Adobe Dick? But here I'll just ask you about Moby Dick.
Oh God. Oh, gee, that's Gregory Peck. Oh God, I'm gonna get this one wrong. 49.
Joe, we're not perfect.
1949.
1949? Way off. It's the year of yours truly's birth. 1956.
Yeah, no, I've only seen bits and pieces of the movie, so I really didn't know too much about. I mean, I know what the movie's about, but I've never seen it from start to finish.
Boom, 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 boom.
All right, so I got one wrong.
All right. How about this is a good one. Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
1963.
On the nose again. On the nose again, Joe. Number 6, The Man with the Midas Touch. A spider's touch. Goldfinger.
Oh God, I have no idea.
Goldfinger.
I have no idea.
All right.
67.
67. What did we say? 3 years?
Yeah.
Just inside the line. 1964.
Okay.
And you remember the movie Goldfinger?
I
right?
remember it,
that
but
remember the Golden Girl?
yes.
She was the one with the guilt complex.
Yes.
Number 7, The Deer Hunter.
1977.
Off by 1, 1978. Number 8, The Philadelphia Story. I'm going to take a left turn at Philadelphia.
The Philadelphia Story, that was with Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant, Jimmy Stewart. 1939.
Again, just within 1, 1940. Groundhog Day.
Oh God. That's, you start to get to movies that were in the 80s and beyond. Jesus. I'm just gonna take a wild guess because I'm not big on movies. For me, it's mostly movies before 1960. I know, but after that, it becomes a little dicey. I'll say 1992.
Within 1, Joe, 1993.
Oh God, that
here's
was clear, Joe. That was clearly just a wild guess. Wild guess.
Yes. And here is your next movie, number 9, Groundhog Day.
This one I have no idea. I mean, I know the movie.
No.
This is going to be another wild guess. I'll say 2002.
No, Joe. I just said the same. It was the same movie, Groundhog Day. The one that you just guessed, 1992, and got within 1.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked you the same movie is because what was Groundhog Day all about? The
same thing.
Over and over and over.
So it was 19.
Man, you must be really tired. Let's get to number 10 and get out of here.
Right.
Dial M for Murder.
Oh, that was with Ray Milland and one of the gorgeous actresses ever to grace the screen, Grace Kelly. Oh my God, the woman was just absolutely beautiful. That's an understatement. Dial M for Murder. I'm gonna say, and also Bob Cummings was in that movie. And you're supposed,
Cummings.
yeah, and
the man who never aged.
No, and he was married like 9 times, and you're supposed to believe in that movie that he's the love interest. There's a some sort of connection between him and Grace Kelly, and I'm sorry, but it doesn't work for me. I'm gonna say, but the year of that movie is escaping my head right now, so I'm gonna say 1953.
Off by one, 1954.
That was my other.
You did real good. You know, even though you missed one and you missed a few by 2 or 3, I still say you gave extra here. All you needed to do was get the year. You not only gave the year, in many cases, you gave the whole cast, and also in some cases, the synopsis of what the movie was about. So, congratulations, Joe Chiaffi.
Thank you.
And now you're going to do a solo tomorrow night, because at this
Yes,
time
tomorrow night,
bed.
right? Tomorrow night, 7:30 at the regular time. It'll just be me, and Thursday we're still at 7:30. Correct?
Yes, we're back to normal.
Back to normal.
We're
okay.
back to normal after. Yes.
So I am sure our audience will be very happy to know that we're back to normal by the time we for tomorrow and for Thursday. So folks, I'm like wiped out. And Joe's wiped out from doing everything he had to do today. And you've got 2 busy days ahead of you. So I'll hopefully be able to get up Thursday morning and pull up CBS 2 online. And
you'll be laughing.
Right. Mr. Ruben Fairchild, who came on late tonight, I find this question hilarious. If we're retired, why are we not night owls? And the answer to that is you don't know it now, but when you reach a certain age, okay, 9 o'clock is bedtime, and that's where I'm at right now.
Yes.
So
well, he doesn't understand. He's only 21, 22.
He's 22. He's wet behind the ears, for God's sake.
All
right, folks.
All right.
Everybody, have a great night. And you have a little bit less of it because now that we did the show late. And we will see you tomorrow at the regular time. I will see you tomorrow at the regular time, 7:30 Eastern. Good night, everybody.
Night.